Hi. So I said a while ago on Twitter, like 2 weeks ago, that I would load a deck profile for Sacred Beast Spright the next week. I didn't do that because we didn't have the cards. Not my fault. Whose fault was that against him?
I'm not saying names.
Oh, okay, fair enough. An unknown individual. So I cooked this up last minute before YCS London, and I tried to play it today, locals, to... I mean, 50% win rate record in 7 rounds is fine, right? I've been 3-3 today.
Sure, yeah.
I did get a game 1 loss in round 1 because I was late, so, you know, I probably could have won that one. That was an easy metric, so I could have gone forward too, you know. Anyway, yeah. So obviously this is not going to be as good as other Spright variants because the package is quite significant, but I still think it's pretty funny and actually quite competent. So, I guess I can start looking at the cards, right? So, obvious things first off. You're playing Spright, so you're gonna have your 3 blue, you're gonna have your 3 jet, your red and your carrot, 3 starter, 1 smashes, 1 double cross. I don't think there will ever be any real deviation from this standard. Maybe sometimes you don't play double cross or whatever, or maybe in some crazy format you play double carrot because monster negates don't matter. But, you know, for now, you guys know that this is just, that's how you play Spright, right? As for your normal like plays and stuff, Spright is just going to be same as always. Like, I wouldn't change any of this, it's just standard. So, your actual Sacred Beast package, we are playing not a strange edition, pretty normal package that's been in Spright for a while, is the Beckoning Beast with 3 opening. So this is a line I still do quite often, is just the Beckoning, add opening, opening, add beckoning in, just to get 2 level 2s out, and then you can like summon Carrot with Gigantic or whatever, right? That's still something you can do a lot, but I'm also now playing 1 Summoning Beast and 2 Chaos Summoning Beast. So this one summons Hamon from hand, and this one summons Hamon from deck. I don't really like playing Summoning Beast Dark because it locks you out of battle, so you can't use it proactively going second. But it's fine, like it gives you access to Hamon when you didn't draw enough stuff to get it out, so you can search for Skyfire and stuff with Beckoning. But generally you don't really want to open it. It does search a second Hamon and its Grave Effect, so which you can use as discard fodder, but if I had to cut something, I'd probably cut this. I might even cut down this Chaos to 1, but sometimes you kind of need to open multiple pieces. Alongside that, I'm playing 2 Hamon. The other Sacred Beasts suck, and Hamon lets you play Skyfire as a spell trap negate. You can use this to negate Dark Ruler Resolution, you can negate evenly all that, and then you get switch Hamon to defense, which is basically a 4K wall no one can get over. And then Hamon is actually really good for OTKing because you can, like after setting up with your initial board over, right, you can search another Chaos and summon a second Hamon. You just have 8K on board right then there, and it burns it and kills something. And we're also playing 1 Paradise. Paradise is just draw 2, and you never want to draw it because it's terrible on its own, but if it's a Chaos, it's just pot of greed and you can't be targeting your Hamon, so it's just a 4K can't be targeted, which actually is kind of nice. So yeah, the main thing we're trying to go for here is just like the normal Spright stuff, but if you have enough of these in hand, you can go for Hamon, go for Skyfire, and then you just have an additional spell trap negate on your normal Spright board. Alongside that, to support it, we are playing 3 Pure Ice. It searches all of the Summoning Beasts and the Beckoning Beast, and it searches Cap Shell, which you can summon with Beckoning Beast, as it is a level, is a Fiend with 0/0, and it is level 2, so it works with Spright stuff. You can also revive this from Grave with Opening, so you can go for a Link into IP with this, get the draw, and then bring it back and use it for Gym Buster to get an additional draw. So that's why I play this over Hyperion, because it can be revived opening, which basically gives you a bunch of additional summons, especially if you already, especially if you get 2 opening up, you can just summon multiple times. As for generics, Ash, I kind of put together the staples in this kind of last minute, so this could change, but Ash, and I was playing the Gamma stuff with 2 E-Telly. I don't have 3 E-Telly at hand. I had probably the 3rd at home somewhere, but this is what I had. I feel like if you're playing the Gamma, especially in this build particularly, you just have to play the E-Telly because Gamma can be very much a dead draw when you're trying to just get a level 2 out. But it is really, really good to like hit like on the Pure Rays or the opening or whatever, you get Ash or whatever, you just get additional summon out. And it's obviously really good giving second. Ash could be whatever, I don't really know about that. As for extra deck, damn, that's crazy. 2 Gigantic, 1 Sprint. I wish this was Elf. Sprint kind of sucks in this. We're not on the Nimble stuff, so there isn't really anything good for it. You can sometimes send Beckoning to have a monster in grave to revive with opening, but that doesn't come up that much. Then we're playing a Zeus package. Typical stuff, really. Like
Very standard.
Yeah, very standard going to just poof. I do this. Yeah, you go into it decent often, and you can go into this with just beckoning. So you can do your whole beckoning stuff, and then you keep all your sprite stuff in the back. Do your Zeus lines and everything. Clear the board, and then just like starter or any other effects revise the back, and then just do a sprite board on top of using that's beckoning. That's something that you could do without all the other additional stuff. But yeah, and then for some generic XAs, we're just playing Jin and an Ibimaru. Ibimaru is necessary removal, and Jin is really, really good with the beckoning stuff and really easy to make. As for generic links, there is quite the abundance. Almirage in here, because you can use it to link off a lot of the Sacred Beast stuff, and then you can have a card engrave to revive. So Almirage by itself is a link to with beckoning if you don't avoid getting another level 2 on board. It can be sometimes really necessary just to get stuff engraved, just to trigger some effects. I missed lethal. I missed an access code line, I think, one game today by not doing this, but it would have been really nice. Playing a dark. It's dark, it's good. You're making darks a lot, and there's a lot of decks right now that make darks, so you can go for an access code line that way. Playing IP, usually thing you're entering on, and then Unicorn and Phoenix to go into with IP, and also just Unicorn's linked to the boss things. And then we're playing Avramax and Access. I didn't make Avramax today. Access code is really, really good though. It's really easy to go into with the Sacred Beast stuff. You can get a lot of bodies on board really quickly and still have all your sprite stuff up, so it's very easy to OTK with. And then you also have your Hamon, so you have 9.5k just with those two monsters. And Avramax is something that you can go into with IP. I haven't gone into it today, but I think it's still pretty good. As for side, this was also put together kind of last minute. We're on 3 evenly. I think that's kind of just standard right now. 3 dark roll, I think that's kind of just standard right now. Resonator, I didn't go into time. 2 Bell to fill that slot. Just didn't really have something better. Thought about playing Talents in, but I don't know. I think Bell's fine right now, but I don't know. It's really hard to build a side right now. I don't know. I said I don't know 17 times though. Santa Claus. So this is a very funny tech that we're now picking up. So it's completely bored out at the time of this, but it gets over Gamma Seal in that weird Ancient Fairy Dragon deck. I doubt anyone here is actually playing it, but that's good. But also you can summon it under Testado. So it's just a kaiju that gets over most stuff decks that are preventing you from using kaijus against them now. I don't think there's any reason not to play Santa Claus unless you think that a draw will lose the game, and it can, but I think you can often clear the monster like an Ibimar or something if you need to worry about the draw. And then Droll, I could honestly main this and just side the Ashes or something for branded. Droll seems really crazy right now. I don't think there's a deck where I didn't think, oh hey, I can just roll this. I sided this in almost every single match. That's it for that. So, as far as the actual combo lines are concerned, it is pretty standard, the Beckoning and Sprite stuff. It's just that if you open enough of the Sacred Beast lines, you can end on a Hamon, a Paradise, and Skyfire, which is just an additional negate. You end up with a normal Sprite board, so you can end up with a board of let me pick it all out real quick. You can usually end on IP, you with a Gin Buster with Cap Shell under it. So just put the Cap Shell. You'll probably have an opening on field at this point. Hamon, Skyfire, and then if you did well enough, you can end on 2 sprites. So this is kind of what you're aiming for. I did manage to do this a couple times today, and you'll often have a card in hand, you're drawn off the Cap Shell, so the Unicorn stuff will be live. You're not always going to get to this, but you can pretty often. And that's 4 negates plus IP. I think that's pretty good actually. 5 interactions. Don't think I have much more than that. I mean, can you think of anything I might have missed? Can you think of anything?
No, it's basically just Spright with an extra engine to get you a spell negate that doesn't lose the Dark Roller.
Yeah.
So it's
negate, and you get to switch to Hamon's Defense, and because Hamon's Defense is the only thing that can be attacked, so if they do any spell or trap turn 1, main 1, then they can't go into battle and get over anything sprite-wise, so they have to commit to a normal summon or whatever to get over any of your mini sprites. So they can't Dark Beauty you can negate evenly as well, so you have 2 negates of evenly essentially with the carrot. And I think it is really difficult for a lot of decks to get over. It is not great going second. So what I do, and you can notice that the entire side deck is pretty much geared for going second. So what I'm doing essentially is in game, say going game 2, going second or whatever, right? You just go, keep in the Beckoning Beast and the openings, and you just go cut the Skyfire, cut the Paradise, cut the Hamons, and then like cut whatever else may not be good. You could cut purely res theoretically. It does kind of hurt that it halves your life, so it can be pretty bad sometimes, but it's kind of just insane to get a rotor ending. And then so yeah, you decide out all the Hamon stuff, and then you just go like Dark Ruler, evenly, Kaiju, sometimes draw just 12 going second things. They're usually expecting you to have a pretty bad hand going second with all the Sacred Beast stuff, and then you just completely smoke out of it. Because you don't need any. You've got a Spright package here, you've got the Beckonings, which is like a slightly worse version of Nimbles at that point, but like you're still doing full Spright stuff without the bad stuff they're anticipating you to have. And you can just go for your Zeus, you can go for your Access Code lines theoretically, but you're probably just doing Spright stuff usual. Yeah, that's pretty much all I got. I will maybe play this again some point in the future. I'm going to try like a 50 card branded list that won a regional next week. Other than that, yeah, I did, for you dumbasses with currency, I did just enable channel memberships recently. You get like access to some of my videos earlier that way and some extra posts. I'm going to be doing like another Just One card soon. Thanks. Bye.